Good evening, Tuesday night. I'm bringing you another video. I enjoy these videos. I get a lot of feedback, good feedback, which I'm surprised and happy about. Resonates with a certain following that I have. So appreciate that. And if you do like these videos, give it a share. I'm trying to expand my horizons. I'm trying to get to know more people, have a little bit more following, put myself out of my comfort zone. So if you like it, give it a share, please. Now, I'm stepping into my health domain still because right now I'm more interested in things like how to live a good, noble, ethical, virtuous life for the greater good. How to be a better version of yourself, if not the best version of yourself. And perhaps not on a performance level, but on just being a good person to others. And like I spoke about last week, being in touch with your core values, what you stand up for, being true to yourself, okay? So let's tie that into a few things that are going on in the world right now and try to make some sense of the madness that is, okay? So I want to start with something that I heard in a lecture. I went for a run this evening and I listened to a Jordan Peterson lecture, controversial Jordan Peterson. We can talk about that another time, but he's got amazing lessons, and I want to read to you what I heard at the very end of his lecture, which reads: "We may occupy a more important place than we all think, and the consequences of our actions and virtues or lack thereof may echo far beyond what we want to believe." Okay, so what it's saying, or what I take it to be saying, is all of our actions, all of our virtues, or lack thereof, are far more meaningful than we can imagine poor little old me is. 1 in 7+ billion. But I believe this. I really believe this. And I think that we're all connected energetically, but that's another story. But I think that how you conduct yourself over the course of your day, how you treat others, whether that's a middle finger in traffic or yelling at your Bell customer service rep, bringing negative energy in, or whether that's giving a compliment out of nowhere, or me on my run having people walk by me going good job, or smile, or just random acts of kindness. I think that has a compounding effect on everybody. I really do. And I think that the more good we can bring, the greater good for all. And that might be obvious to some and not for others, but that's how I'm trying to conduct my life now. And how can I make each and every moment a little bit better? Not necessarily better, but yeah, better. I don't know, greater good. How can I make anybody else's day better? So I wanted to start with that. Now, second, I want to talk about quick judgments, lack of forgiveness, and not actually standing up for what you think, but going along with the crowd. And I'm seeing this, or maybe I'm just noticing this way more than ever now. And people are taking sides on everything. And, your social media stories are a little bit one person with one view, the next with the other view. And it's driving me mad. I have to unfollow people because it's getting me upset. I don't want that. And I'm really avoiding a lot of social media. But let's talk about two subjects that are really relevant, at least in Canada and across the world. So one is the convoys. And, I stayed out of that. I posted a few things at the beginning because I was for it, which I kind of still am. But anytime you bring in the issue of race or discrimination, it's a slippery slope. And if you don't know all the details, it's certainly a slippery slope. So I've stayed out of it. And I've reached out to some people on Instagram or Facebook who posted something, and I said, hey, I'm writing to you because I like you and respect you. But I'm saying, how can you really know exactly what's going on there unless you saw it with your own eyes? And that's the approach that I took. I didn't think what I wanted to believe, and I just kind of held back and I said, you know what, Dane, you haven't been there to see it with your own eyes. You can think what you think, and I think what I think, and I'm not even going to go there, but my point is, unless you saw it with your own eyes, it's hearsay. It is not factual. You don't know it. You're going through sources of media or post, or I live in Ottawa this, or I live in Ottawa that. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. And you don't know to what degree is it truly racist or discriminatory, or if they're making a mess or they're not. It could be either. It really could be. But unless you know, unless you're there, you don't know. So be a little more hesitant to jump on sides and think for yourself, right? That would be what I have to say about that, and really thinking for yourself and not jumping in with the crowd. Number two is, okay, this is complicated. And if you're still watching and you're not bored and you haven't left, I got to unpack this a little bit. So the Joe Rogan thing. Okay, and let's separate into two parts of the Joe Rogan controversy. The initial anti-vax part with the two doctors in the podcast that we all know, right? And I'm not going to go there. I don't even want to go there, okay? Because that's definitely free speech, and that is, an alternative view to science. And what we have been told this entire time, you cannot deny lies across the board. Did these two doctors tell absolute truth? No. Was a lot of it wrong? Yeah. Was some of it right? Yeah. But let's put that aside. That's not the important part, okay? That's the step one in canceling Joe Rogan. The second part, the video of him making racial comments. And this is heavy, and this is another slippery slope, right? But again, it's like you have to dive deeper before you make your absolute judgment because of clickbait and headlines in whichever side of the media you follow. And there is a component of free speech that is very important. Now, when I heard what happened, again, I made my initial assessment but didn't voice anything. And I spoke to my business partner, Jean, who was a black man, and I said, hey, Jean, I want to get your opinion on this, and I don't want to pretend like I fully understand it. And he explained it to me. And he said there's this unwritten rule, or maybe written rule, or it's just that if you're not black, you cannot say the N-word whatsoever. And I'll be honest, I did not know that I could not, or anybody could not say, so-and-so said that. And I'll be vulnerable and say, I didn't know that. I knew that the word was wrong, and I knew that using it in any context that is racial at all is wrong. But I didn't know that you couldn't even say the word. Now, I'm not defending Joe Rogan. I'm not saying what he did was right or wasn't wrong. But my question on all this is, at least he's open and he's transparent and he's putting himself out there, and he knew those video clips were out there for years, and he's just him out there speaking truth and not hiding behind scripts and not doing what the director is telling you to say as the narrative on there. Like, he's actually asking questions and being curious. And some of his shows are amazing, right? And perhaps what he said and what he did is unforgivable. And if that to you is unforgivable, then that is fine. But for me, I watched a lot of Joe Rogan, and I've seen him speak about him being a father and how he is with his children and what he says and what his values are in life. And I think in life I'm a good judge of character, and I think that no matter what he said, how wrong it was, I think he's a good man. And I think we need to stop trying to cancel everybody all the time and err on the side of forgiveness at times. Err on the side of perhaps the person didn't mean the worst intentions, right? And I urge you, if you haven't watched any of his videos, go and just type Joe Rogan parenting, right? Joe Rogan growing up without dad. See what the character that this man has, and to me, it's noble, it's virtuous, it's inspiring. So I want to continue to have those types of conversations with people where I don't understand what they've gone through. In fact, Jean and I have agreed that we're going to actually sit down sometime and talk about racism. And I really am curious to see what he went through his entire life. Because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all that stuff. I want to know that stuff. I want to know all sides of things. Wow, we're past the 10-minute mark. So I hope that you won't watch this video and judge me for not taking a side, but for more trying to make some rationality over not being so quick to judge. And maybe you're not the person to judge. And on top of that, can we not forgive anybody anymore? Can we not give somebody the benefit of the doubt because of who we actually think they are as a character of a human being? I don't know. And that can mean something different to everybody. But I realize I'm rambling a little bit. And I hope I never offended anybody with this video whatsoever. That's not my intent at all. My intent is just to have people open their eyes a little bit and not be so close-minded and judgmental and try to cancel the whole bloody world. Because if you knew the deepest, darkest secrets of everybody else, all your heroes, athletes, actors, all celebrities, everybody in the news, come on, man. Come on, everything in people's closets. You don't think everybody in the whole world would be canceled? Anyways. Try and live a good life, noble life, virtuous life. Try and be ethical. Try and care for others. Try and bring the best out of you for the best out of others. Let's opt on the side of forgiveness, lack of judgment, and less judgment is due, I guess. And don't be so quick to make your opinions without diving deep and getting to the truth as close as you can. Long one. If you watched it, appreciate it. Give it a share. Thanks.